Hey, Lisa Dublin here with Basement Chronicles, and I have a question to ask you today. Is it easy for you to forgive? And I have an even more brazen question. Is it easy for you to forgive and forget? The reason I'm bringing up this question is because I recently discovered that it pays to not just forgive, but to some extent to forget. Because then you don't show up as a victim in the relationship of the person who hurt you. And I wanted to tell you about my experience. So this is episode number 53 of Basement Chronicles. I want to encourage you to head over to YouTube and to subscribe to my channel, Basement Chronicles. There are like 52 episodes of inspiration there before this one, okay? So I want you to subscribe to my channel. So this is what happened. Let me set it up for you. When I was in high school, there was this girl who hurt me really badly. Like, she teased me mercilessly. And it got to the point where she embarrassed me really badly. And what I did after that was to totally ignore her. Forget she existed. We went our separate ways after high school. I never asked about her, never spoke to her. We went to different parts of the world. I just completely ignored her. But ignoring is not forgiving, is it? So a few years ago, I realized, wait a minute. I need to forgive this girl. Just getting closer to Christ and my walk with God, etc. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the decision to forgive this girl. And I did that a couple months ago. Would you believe, just a few weeks ago, it ended up that we found ourselves working on a project together. By that time, I had been through the process of forgiveness and it was okay to work with her. But here's the thing. I immediately began to say to myself, if you think I'm going to show up the same way, I'm not the same Lisa. I'm different, okay? And then I realized it was not going to work in the relationship, especially on our team. That to some extent I needed to forget the past so that I could show up differently, just as somebody who was loved. Somebody who themselves had been forgiven, somebody who had given forgiveness. I realized that forgiveness didn't really work until we really did some element of forgetting as well, because it meant I was no longer showing up as the victim, as the person who had been hurt. Because if you show up as the person who had been hurt, you are defensive and you don't enjoy. And you don't show up as somebody who's loved and who's complete and who's whole. And so I decided to forget, put the past aside, and to enter this new kind of relationship without the memory of what she had done to me. And so far, so good, because I'm not defensive. It makes it easier for us to work together, and it makes it easier for me to be myself, my loved self, in this new reality. So I want to encourage you to not just forgive, but to forget what people have done. Not so that you can get walked all over, God forbid, but just so that you show up in the relationship whole, anew, somebody who's loved as opposed to somebody who had been hurt. Thank you so much for watching. Give me some feedback. Tell me if it's easy for you to forgive and forget. What has been your experience with it? And you can hit me up on Instagram at Lisa M. Dublin. It's the same social handle on Facebook, also on Twitter. I'm also there. I completely forget that sometimes. But thank you for watching and see you next time on Basement Chronicles.